with the sign of the cross. We start our prayers with the sign of the cross. When we come into the church, we see the cross on the wall. The priest, when he's celebrating Mass, has the cross before him. As you see the priest lifting up the host in consecration, you see on the wall the cross. Many of you are actually wearing a cross as well as a medal, possibly of the Blessed Mother. You notice that I started the Mass with the sign of the cross. Probably notice also at the end of the Mass, I bless you with the sign of the cross. So one of the most eloquent and frequent symbols of followers of Christ is making the sign of the cross. And that's the message today Jesus is presenting, is that he's going to Jerusalem to be crucified. The apostles don't understand, nor does the mother of James and John. I think there are various ways we can interpret the cross. I'd like to summarize one of the numbers in the diary of St. Faustina Kowalska on the cross. Because whether we like it or not, we all have to carry a cross. Pagans, agnostics, atheists, communists, Catholics, Jews, Muslims, they all have to carry a cross, whether you like it or not. Remember my first year at Villanova, I was taking a class on comparative religions back in '74. And we're studying Jainism, Taoism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Shintoism. We're studying all the different world religions. Judaism, Russian Orthodox, Catholicism. One thing that really impressed me is the only religion that gives a positive meaning to suffering is Catholicism. Of all those religions. The other religions try to skirt the issue or deny it or jump over it. Suffering in the cross, suffering in and of itself is neutral. Suffering either makes us better or bitter. I repeat, it makes us either better or bitter. It all depends on what we do with it. So I'd like to take that number from the Diary of St. Faustina and add my own 2 cents to the reality of the cross and suffering. I think there are 5 attitudes toward the cross. Number 1, this would be the vast majority of humanity, is most people don't even recognize that they have a cross. That is to say, ignorance of the cross, even though they have it. So not being aware of your cross, you have a huge disadvantage. Name it, claim it, and tame it, huh? Second attitude, I believe, would be this. Those who recognize the cross, but they reject their cross. They recognize it, but they reject it. Maybe some of you have heard the story of the man who always complained about his cross. He's always complained to God, saying that his cross was too heavy. On one occasion, his guardian angel appears to him and says that God has given me the mission to take you to a huge field where there are crosses, and you can choose whatever cross you want. So the man was jubilant. He was taken to this field, which is about 3 square miles, in which there are tons of crosses. And the guardian angel said, choose whatever you want. So he tried one. He said, this is too heavy. Tried a second and said, this is even heavier. Tried a third. This one has too many splinters. Tried another. This smells bad. Tried another one. This is turquoise. I don't like that color. Tried another one. This was styrofoam. I don't like that either. So after trying crosses the whole day, finally he lifted up his eyes. He saw a cross glimmering before his eyes. He ran up. He saw the cross. He put it on his shoulder. He tried it, and he kissed it, and he said, this is the cross that I can bear, to his guardian angel. And the guardian angel said, that was your cross. Maybe we can identify with that man. That sometimes we simply say, I don't want this cross. Once Alice von Hildebrand came to visit St. Peter Chanel. The wife of Dietrich von Hildebrand. And she said that the saints carry crosses heavier than ours. But they carry it better because they accept the cross. We don't. So return to St. Faustina diary. There's a third person that's carrying the cross and climbing up Calvary, but he's carrying it begrudgingly. There's a good word for you, begrudgingly, which means with resistance. And he's never able to make it to the top of Calvary because he's dragging the cross, and the cross is slipping out of his arms. This is St. Faustina. And I think some of us maybe are in that category, that we have a cross, but we're complaining, we're begrudgingly carrying it, kind of like Job, huh? And it's going to be difficult to carry the cross to the top of Calvary if we always have a complaint and we throw a pity party. Poor me. Why do I have this cross? Then the fourth is this. The person that willingly recognizes the cross that God has given to him. He embraces the cross, he kisses the cross, and he carries the cross valiantly. He makes it to the top of Calvary. I hope that's us. I hope that's you. I hope that's me. That instead of looking at the cross with pessimism and resistance and even rejection, we look at the cross, we say yes to the cross that God has given to us. In the last class of those with respect to the cross, I say it with fear and trembling, is that St. Faustina saw the priests and they were on the cross. They were not carrying the cross, the priests were actually on the cross, crucified with Christ. For that reason, St. Faustina and Fulton Sheen had the same idea. What is the definition that Fulton Sheen gives of the priest? He's the victim. He's the victim that offers the victim. The victim in small letters who offers the victim in big letters. But I'd like to conclude with maybe what's most important. This whole topic is related to Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 to 30. Jesus said, "Come to me. Come to me, all of you who are weary, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. For I am meek and humble of heart, for you will find rest for your souls. Because my yoke is easy and my burden is light." The secret to carrying the cross is not to carry the cross by yourself, but to ask Jesus to help you to carry the cross. If we allow Jesus to help us to carry the cross will not be a curse. The cross will be a blessing. And the cross will be the highway to heaven. So may the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi be your prayer and my prayer. And this is the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. We adore you, O Christ, and we bless you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Amen.